Good morning, everyone. Shannon Snedaker from Snedaker Law here for another Snedaker Spotlight. And today we have the pleasure of having Zach Willams on our show with University Diagnostic Institute. Zach, how you doing?
I'm doing good, Shannon. Thanks for having us today.
Yeah, thanks for joining us. And we're actually at University Diagnostic Institute, which for viewers out there, it's also known as UDI. So we are here at the Winter Park location of UDI, and I know UDI has several locations. So let our viewers know where you're located.
Okay. UDI is based out of the University of South Florida. Dr. Stanley has started this practice about 20 years ago. We moved to Winter Park as our first office off-site. The reason for University Diagnostic Institute is because it was actually on campus at USF, because Dr. Stanley was running lectures for the med students in radiology. We've been in the area since 2004, and we have two other offices. One is going to be in Dr. Phillips off of Vineland Road, and the other is in Longwood. So we try to cover the vast majority of the I-4 corridor.
And that makes it convenient for patients who need to go get some sort of diagnostic study. They can just go down I-4, and depending on where they are, they can just get off and hit one of your locations. Correct. If they need services.
If there is such thing as an easy way to go down I-4, that was the idea.
Yeah.
Yes, we're an outpatient imaging center. We are full modality, including anything from X-ray to ultrasound, mammogram, CT, and MRI.
Okay, and I know you mentioned Dr. Stanley, so I'm assuming, I know this, but the viewers might not know this. Dr. Stanley is a radiologist, right?
Yes, yeah. So he's the owning physician. He is our radiologist. He is the sole owner of it. However, we have added, in addition, multiple radiologists for the specific studies. So we have a fellowship radiologist for body imaging and women's imaging for their mammos and breast diagnostics and ultrasounds. We have MSK. And neuro as well for the studies that if patients come in and get a brain scan, we're going to have the radiologist that has a fellowship in neuro read that and so on and so forth.
Okay. And I know you mentioned several modalities. You have MRIs, X-rays, CT scans. I know the word MRI or even CT scan can cause a lot of anxiety. I know Zach and I have talked about this, how I don't like small spaces. And so a lot of viewers might be a little bit nervous about coming in. What are some things that you could tell them that UDI does to try to ease those anxieties or those fears about closed spaces or just going through the diagnostic process in general?
Right. I am also one of those people that are nervous, get claustrophobic, although I thought I wasn't, but I had one last month on my shoulder and I panicked. So, but luckily here at UDI, we have, it starts with the techs. We are based off of customer service. They pretty much will hold your hand through the whole way, making sure that you are stable and comfortable. If you start to feel nervous or anxious, we'll stop, let you get out and repeat the scan if needed. And I think that's important, is knowing that the people that are scanning you care just as much as you do about your health and getting the imaging done, so you can move forward and figure out what it is that is wrong.
Now, if you're getting a scan, are you allowed to have anybody in the room with you, like yes. a spouse or a friend or another family member?
It's very common, actually. Usually a spouse comes along or a family member, but yeah, they can sit there and through the whole duration of the scan. In fact, we recommend that sometimes. If that's not possible, we also offer sedation. So you can be at ease, and obviously with the driver, you can get your scan done and move forward. And then our equipment as well is accommodating for the claustrophobic patients because of the Vineland location. We have a 74-inch bore, and for those that don't understand that, that's the distance between what would be the tube and where you're laying during the imaging. So that's actually the highest and largest high field open there is in Central Florida. And then we also have the traditional open, which I know some of you would understand or saw, or maybe even had, and that's where they send you in and onto a flat board and then underneath, and it's just open on three sides because I think the claustrophobic part is that you feel stuck in a tube for 30 minutes trying to sit still. So between the techs and the ability to have a significant other or family member, and then the equipment, we actually have a high success rate of claustrophobic patients, which we screen when we schedule them. So we're aware in the patient chart that they might be nervous or anxious. And then there's the ones like me who say, no, I'm not claustrophobic. And then you start getting your scan done and you are 100% claustrophobic.
Right. And then there's a panic button, right?
There is a panic button. Yep. There's a panic button, and the tech will be aware, and they can talk to you. They talk to you through a PA system to make sure everything's okay. They let you know how many minutes you have left.
That's great.
And the panic button definitely does move you out of the machine. So
you hit the panic button and it actually moves you out?
Yep.
Really? Yep. In real time, so you don't have to wait for somebody else to move it out?
It'll just, it'll start moving you out if need be.
Okay, that's great.
It alerts. It'll alert. It depends on how long you hold it, but it'll alert the tech that, hey, I need help, okay. Or at least reassurance that everything's going to be okay.
Right. So, how do patients typically get to you? Is it through their doctors? They write a prescription and they have to get some sort of diagnostic study, or can someone just come in because they need a mammogram or something like that? How does it work?
That's actually a really good question. Radiology is a little bit different in the medical field because we are not an entry point. So to answer your question, nobody can just come in and say, hey, I would love to get a CT of my neck, or I need an x-ray of my finger, or anything, except for there is one exception for mammogram. Screening mammograms, which we are coming up on Breast Cancer Awareness Month. You do not need a script if you meet the guidelines, which is the age, I believe, of 40.
Over 40.
Over 40, correct. Unless you have a family history, then I believe it's 35. But you actually do not need a script to come in to get a screening diagnostic done, or okay. Excuse me, screening mammogram done.
Great. And I know you have something special coming up next month for Breast Cancer Awareness Month, and we'll get to that in a few minutes. But let's just say, someone needs to get an MRI of their neck or their back, and their doctor writes them a prescription, and typically they'll say, go to this diagnostic facility. Do those patients have to go to where their doctor recommends they go, or could they bring that script to you and come to UDI to have those studies done?
Right. The scripts these days, a lot of patients, a lot of groups actually send them electronically, but they do give the hard copies to the patient and giving them leverage on where they would like to go. So we do see strips from some other companies that we actually obtain, and they call us. But so patients can choose wherever they'd like to go. They usually typically just call us. If we get a fax order over, we will call within at least 24 hours, typically within a couple of hours, and schedule the patient. What's nice about UDI is that these days you can sit on hold for 10 minutes going through all of the options to select which button, and then if you're busy or you're just not listening and you miss your option, you have to restart all over. But we actually have a live service. All of our girls in triage answer the phone, and then they will send you to wherever you need to go, whether it be scheduling, to talk to the radiologist, to obtain a report, or if it's a physician or an attorney, whoever's trying to get medical records, then we will send you over to billing or medical records. So it's a pretty easy process. We try to fit in the patient's same day. I know it's tough. You go to the doctor's office and then you leave with a script. It happened to me not too long ago, and I was lucky enough, but to just walk in. But we do try to get people in the same day, because we know how difficult it is to take off of work with family. Right. And whatnot to come and get your scan done. But
and then people want to know what's going on with them, right?
Yeah.
So it's scary when you're told, hey, you need to go get this scan, and then you have to wait 2 weeks. So I think that's really great that UDI tries to get patients in the day of the script being written, because then that just helps our mental stability, I guess, right?
And that's what I think that's what our foundation is built off. Our mission is to give the best type of healthcare there is to every person that walks through the door. And it starts at the front desk and it goes all the way to the tech walking them out the front door as they're done. And our radiologists, we get our reports done within 24 hours. So the physician, unless you're done on a Friday, typically you would be able to know within a day or two, which is very nice. So you don't have to worry. And and be a hypochondriac like somebody that I know.
Yeah,
like me.
Are you talking about me?
Well, both of us.
Both of us.
Yeah.
Okay. Yes, that's why we get along.
Yeah.
Okay, so we've kind of touched on some of the points of UDI, just getting you in or trying to get you in the same day. You have Dr. Stanley, who's fabulous. You have a few radiologists on your team. But what is it about UDI? Why UDI? Why pick UDI over the other imaging centers that are out there? Okay, so Zach, this morning you've been touching on a lot of things that set UDI apart from other diagnostic facilities, like trying to get you in the same day, being physician owned, Dr. Stanley, who's fabulous, who started this down in South Florida. So what else? Like, why would a patient who's watching this today and they've been given a script for another facility, why should they come to UDI over other facilities or other options that they have available to them in Central Florida?
That's a great question. It starts with UDI's foundation, going back to customer service. And that comes on an operational side. We try to become an extension of the physicians that utilize their practice. So we have a very close relationship with a lot of these providers, and when we need something, we get it done. They know to call us immediately, and that goes out to the patient. So we're in sync with all of the physicians that utilize us. Being physician owned, we understand the struggles and also the pros and cons of being physician owned in these times. So we try to support one another. And honestly, the lasting impression for me is when you walk in, you should feel like it's your own practice. And we're not just a radiology center. We're more built like a family physician practice where you feel welcome. And those that have come to us multiple times, we know them, and we build a relationship with those because they're our biggest referral source.
Right.
So leaving on a good note, knowing that if you were nervous getting an exam, if you're claustrophobic for an MRI or a CT, or if you're just in a lot of pain and you might have had a bad experience before, we try to eliminate that and reassure you that we are also looking out for your health.
Right. So the patient isn't going to feel like they're just another number being rushed through the process. They're going to be talked to and walk through each part of this, and also dependent on them as a person, right? Because it's individualized care, even though it's a study. Someone claustrophobic like me, they're going to spend probably a little bit more time with talking me into getting into the machine.
Yes, exactly.
And that's so important these days.
Yeah, it makes a difference. One thing that I've seen, and I've come, my parents and grandparents run radiology facilities up in North Florida and South Florida. So I was actually born into these radiology business without even knowing it at the time. But one thing that I noticed that I haven't seen at a lot of other places is that our techs will walk the patient all the way back up to the front to check out so that they can pay their deductible or whatever it is, to make sure that they're okay and to thank them for stopping by and choosing UDI and reassuring them that everything's going to be okay. And that's the little things that make the biggest difference.
Yeah, that's great. Now you brought up something that I just want to ask you about. You talked about deductibles, and UDI accepts major medical insurance, right?
Yep.
Okay. And then also, we've had this on some of our other spotlights. You guys accept car insurance too, right?
Correct.
Okay.
Our payer mix is almost every single general payer. There's a few that kind of fall through the loops, but we do try to get in contract with every private payer when it comes to health insurance. Unfortunately, sometimes they take forever to get into a contract, and we're working on that. But I would say about 95% of the insurances we take, and most patients will call. But if you, like, hypothetically, if you send a script over, your doctor sent a script over, and we saw your patient or your insurance and what we didn't have, we would give the physician a call and yourself a call, giving you options, a cash pay option, or give you maybe another recommendation of where to go that does accept your insurance.
And then, if you're in a car accident, a lot of people in the public don't know this, but your car insurance is the first line of coverage for the majority or 80% of the first $10,000 of your medical treatment. So, UDI accepts the car insurance. So if you are in a car accident, you can come to UDI to have whatever diagnostic imaging that's needed from your doctor. So that's an option too.
And that happens quite a bit. We do see a good amount of car accident patients. And something unique about UDI is that we also will run your health insurance as a secondary to your auto insurance, which can help cover that 20% you were discussing. And I know a lot of attorneys and a lot of patients actually like that, because now they're reaching towards a deductible. It helps kind of eliminate some fear of additional cost or being left with a bill. And then also the LOPs, we also take those as well. So we have a bunch of different options, and the patients at the front, when they're checking in, they're educated on what they can do. But typically all car insurances we do take.
Okay, perfect. So I know you mentioned this earlier, and I know this is something that UDI does, I believe, annually, but we're coming up on October, which is Breast Cancer Awareness Month, and UDI is doing something special for the community and its current patients, past patients. So tell us about that. What are you guys doing in October?
Yeah. So this is about our third year, I believe, since I've been here, that we've done something for the month of October and for the awareness of breast cancer. And we are doing $35 mammos, screening mammograms for new patients or anybody that has not had a mammogram done with UDI before. Now, that does not include patients that have had other imaging done, but not a mammogram. That will be included in there. And it's been a great turnout last year. We had quite a few of our physicians and attorneys, a couple of other groups sponsor some of the mammograms so they could pay for their patients or their clients and help extend the community outreach of the awareness of Breast Cancer Month. And I think that's something that we try to hang our hat on, is being involved in the community and giving back when we can. So that runs for all of October. I will actually give you an update on that later today. So
yeah, and I think that's great. And I know Snedaker Law is definitely participating in that this year, because we think it's so important to make sure you're getting the screenings, especially. I know breast cancer can affect men and women, but women tend to put their healthcare, to the bottom of the list as they next to their husbands and their kids. So it's really good to run a special to encourage people to come in. And I know I'm going to do that with my current clients and past clients to try to get them to get that screening. And we'll be sending them over to UDI hopefully in the month of October. So I think that's amazing that you guys are doing that.
We're excited to run this campaign again, and we definitely recommend that if there's a time to do it, and our lives are busy, it's never fun. You don't really want to go get a mammogram, but when you have people that are willing to help assist you when times are rough, especially during the pandemic and whatnot, little things like just being able to provide a mammogram for past clients or family members or even future patients or clients, I think that goes a long way. Yeah,
it eliminates reasons why they can't go.
Exactly.
And makes them go and do it.
And
so that's great.
They also get to experience UDI and the experience that they should have if they were to ever have, hopefully not, but additional imaging down the road.
Great. So how do people who may be watching this podcast today, how do they find UDI? Do you guys have Facebook, Instagram, a website? Where do they go to find out more information about UDI?
We do have all of the platforms. We have a Facebook, Google, Instagram, LinkedIn, and we have a website. It's www.udiwp for winterpark.com. We also have udiorlando.com, and that'll give you all of our locations. We all have a centralized number, so it doesn't really matter which location you're looking for. It all goes to our triage, which is in the Winter Park office, and they can reach out to us there or even through Messenger on Facebook.
And I know I follow you on Instagram, so you guys update all the specials you're having or the awareness in the community, and I'm sure that breast cancer awareness program that you guys are running in October will be put on your Instagram page. Do you know your Instagram?
I believe it's University Diagnostic Institute WP, but it is on our It is on our Facebook, and I should have known that. The handles are always difficult. I don't even know my Instagram handle, so.
Right. But I'm sure if you just type in University Diagnostic Institute, it will pop up. And make sure that you go in and follow their Instagram page so you can be up to date on the special in October to go in and get those mammograms. I think that's amazing that UDI is doing that and really giving back to the community. And I know Snedaker Law is going to be participating. So Zach, anything else that you want our viewers to know about UDI and anything else that we haven't covered today?
I think we covered a lot. At the end of the day, we're built, the way we built UDI was on purpose. We did not build 20 different sites. We wanted to keep it intimate because the intimacy sometimes gets lost when you're with the growth of business, but we're satisfied to be a part of the community and help those that are in need. And that's why people choose UDI. So I don't think I have anything else.
Well, great. Well, thanks so much for being here
Thank you,
today.
Shannon.
We really appreciate you taking the time and UDI allowing you to do this to share what UDI is all about. If anyone's interested, please log in to Instagram, follow them, check out their website, 3 locations right down the I-4 corridor. And thanks for being here.
Thank you, Shannon. I really appreciate it.
Again, this is Shannon Snedaker with Snedaker Law. Thank you for watching another Snedaker Spotlight. We'll have another one soon. Everyone have a great day.